Welcome back to the Real You podcast, where we talk about real topics, real training, and real results. Today, I want to lean into a message that I believe could shift the trajectory of your life if you let it. The title of this episode is simple, but it carries a punch. Stop complaining and start growing. Now, I know this sounds like tough love, right? And it is. But it's also exactly what many of us need to hear right now. Because let's be honest, complaining is easy. It's natural. It rolls off our tongue before we even think. But growth takes effort. Growth takes responsibility. Growth takes faith. And that's why so many people stay stuck. For the next few minutes, I want you to lean in. Let's get real. Let's get practical. And let's get inspired to stop complaining and start growing. Let's start here. Why do we complain? Think about it. Complaining doesn't fix traffic. It doesn't improve your boss. It doesn't change your circumstances. What it does is give us a false sense of release. For a few seconds anyway, it feels like we're doing something. But really, we're staying stuck. Here's what I've seen after working with students, athletes, business owners, and leaders. Complaining is the language of victims. Growth is the language of leaders. So the first step is recognizing that every time we complain, we're watering weeds. And weeds grow fast. But if you stop watering weeds and start watering seeds, you give yourself the chance to grow something beautiful. I want you to think about the last 24 hours. What's one thing you complain about? Now ask yourself, did that complaint move me forward? Or did it keep me stuck? Now, let me share a story from my own journey. I spent 16 years as a high school teacher. And let me tell you, teaching is one of the most rewarding jobs in the world, but it's also one of the hardest. There were days where I would walk into my classroom and I felt the weight of everything. Students who didn't want to learn, parents who didn't want to listen, administrators piling on more responsibilities, and the endless grading, the testing, the meetings. And I'll be honest, there were days I wanted to complain. Days I wanted to throw my hands up and say, this system is broken. These kids don't care. Nothing's ever going to change. But here's the thing. Every time I let myself complain, I felt weaker. I felt powerless. And it didn't change a thing. So one day, I decided instead of complaining about my students, I was going to grow myself so I could reach them better. I started learning more about leadership, communication, personal growth. I began experimenting with new teaching techniques. I connected deeper with my students, asking them about their goals, their struggles, their lives outside of school. And something amazing happened. My classroom didn't get easier. I got stronger. I stopped being controlled by complaints and I started growing into the leader my students needed. That experience taught me this. You can't always change your circumstances, but you can always change yourself. Here's a principle that I live by. Responsibility equals response plus ability. Now, you may not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. That's your ability. Complaints highlight problems. Responsibility highlights possibilities. So instead of saying, my job is terrible, ask, what skills can I develop that will open new doors? Instead of saying, my relationships are broken, ask, how can I grow in patience, communication, and empathy? Instead of saying, this will never work, ask, what can I learn from this setback? Let's talk about mindsets. There are two mindsets that shape your future. First is the complaint mindset. Blame, excuses, waiting for others to change. Number two, the growth mindset. Learning, adapting, owning your response. I used to tell my students, you can't control the test you get, but you can control how much you study. You can't control the referee, but you can control how you play the game. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you sell your shit. The same is true for us as adults. So here's my challenge. I want you to identify one area of your life where you've been stuck in a complaint mindset? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's your career. And then ask, what would a growth mindset look like here? Here's a simple framework that you can start using today. Number one is catch it. Notice when you're complaining. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just catch it. Awareness is power. Number two, flip it. Ask yourself, what's one thing that I can do right now to grow in this situation? And number three, act on it. Take that step. It doesn't have to be a big step. It just has to be a step forward. Here's an example. Complaining about your boss, right? Catch it, flip it. What can I learn here about leadership or patience? Act on it. Apply one new skill, read one book, or start one conversation. Every complaint is an opportunity for growth in disguise. Here's the secret weapon: gratitude. Why? Because you cannot be grateful and complain at the same time. Try it. Gratitude instantly kills complaints. So right now, whether you're driving, working out, or listening at home, I want you to pause and think of 3 things you're grateful for. Say them out loud. Whisper them if you have to. Write them down if you can. Do you feel the shift? Gratitude doesn't erase your problems, but it puts them in perspective. And perspective is where growth begins. So let's land the plane. Complaining keeps you stuck. Growth moves you forward. Imagine your life 1 year from now if you stopped complaining and started growing. What would be different? How would you feel? Who would you become? Here's my challenge. For the next 7 days, go complain free. Every time you catch yourself complaining, stop. I want you to flip it and then act on it. Replace it with growth. Because life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by growth. So my friend, it's time. Stop complaining, start growing, and watch your life change. This has been the Real You Podcast. I'm Alex Lopez. Thank you for joining me. If this message inspired you, share it with someone you care about. And remember, real topics, real training, real results. Until next time, keep growing.